DeSantis is quickly spiraling. I mean, he's already it comes off as a real lunatic in many ways. The way he's been acting out there on the campaign, the way he interacts with people, as if he's like the antisocial candidate. It's very bizarre. His weird, planned, plotted out laughter. The grinding of his teeth when asked a question by reporters, just really bizarre stuff. But then, of course, there's been this hurricane. What's the hurricane's name again?
Idalia.
Idalia, right. Hurricane Idalia hit Florida, and a lot of people are affected by this storm. It's a pretty big storm. And he's giving a news conference. What was this? It was just yesterday. And here's what he had to say at this news conference on Hurricane Idalia.
There are reports of people trying to loot down in Steinhatchee. And I've told all of our personnel at the state level, you protect people's property, and we are not going to tolerate any looting in the aftermath of a natural disaster. I mean, it's just ridiculous that you would try to do something like that on the heels of an almost Category 4 hurricane hitting this community. I'd also just remind potential looters that you never know what you're walking into. People have a right to defend their property. This part of Florida, you got a lot of advocates and some proponents of the Second Amendment. And I've seen signs in different people's yards in the past after these disasters, and I would say it's probably here. You loot, we shoot. You never know what's behind that door. If you go break into somebody's house and you're trying to loot, these are people that are going to be able to defend themselves and their families. So I would not do it. We are going to hold you accountable from a law enforcement perspective at a minimum, and it could even be worse than that depending on what's behind that door. So let's all band together and lift people up and not try to take advantage of a difficult situation.
Very, very weird way to frame at a press conference here. I don't know how far along this was into the full press conference that I decided to bring up looters. Do we know how far along into the conference this was?
I can double check it. Not sure how far in it was.
Like, is this the first thing he brings up?
I mean, so, a few people have brought this up on Twitter, like Aaron Rupar and others, but like, it is a good point. DeSantis really, in a lot of ways, does enjoy talking about like the prospect of killing people.
Right.
Like extrajudicially and otherwise. Like his newest thing on the stump is how he wants to leave cartel members at the border stone cold dead. It's like an applause line for him. And now he's here like kind of like fantasizing about vigilantes coming to their door and murdering looters.
It's bizarre. And also the idea that are there individuals who would take advantage? Sure, of course. There's always people who do things like that. But also the idea that you wouldn't think, okay, this is a huge storm. People's homes are flooded. People are stuck here. I'm not sure how many casualties there have been. There are people who are obviously going to do whatever it takes to survive. Maybe someone's stuck and has no food or needs something, and they need to take what's been left behind. The idea that you wouldn't also consider those people who are just doing whatever it takes to survive is just the way these guys think, I guess, right?
I think he's struggling to pander. I think that, his personality flaws aside, he struggles to pander to a rapidly mentally deteriorating Republican base. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, he thinks the Republican base wants, in the aftermath of BLM protests. Like, he thinks speaking to this bloodlust the Republican Party has for shooting rioters or shooting looters or whatever they claim is the problem, they need to shoot people, is going to win him an election at the, highest level. I think it's a bad idea because there are just a ton of mass shootings in this country. There was just a mass shooting in his own state. And now he's talking about you might be shot. So I think he just has a real difficulty when it comes to connecting with people that is going to be demonstrated on the, national level with this election. He was fine when he was just communicating through a handful of sound bites during the COVID-19 pandemic. But now that he's actually first in the middle of the podium, people are just like seeing the kind of person that he is. And it's like, it's all very calculated, but not in a smooth way.
Right. And as Tater Tot in the IMs points out, the interpreter had to sign all that too.
Yeah. We will kill you.
Right. Yeah. Just stunning. I mean, Trump, I feel like Trump would say the same things during these conferences when he would go out there, but I don't know, something about Trump's delivery of it.
But he would
didn't
also like have like a big but like, yeah, but DeSantis has like a bunch of soldiers behind him, and then like, or like a signer aggrily signing like death threats to the crowd. Trump would have like a big pallet full of toilet paper, and he would just like throw them into the crowd like a football. And I mean, that's like, that's just like absurd and surreal, where this is just like upsetting.
Right. Yeah, I just saw that his DeSantis' super PAC was pulling back from their Super Tuesday door knocking and focusing on the early states. I guess they thought they'd be much further along than they were in the polling. I don't see this going anywhere. He's tanking hard, and it wouldn't shock me if this is also giving. He was like a super popular governor in Florida among the Republicans there, and I'm sure he's taking a hit among them as well with this his ability to really blow it on the campaign trail, and also his going after Trump too.
Well, people in Florida are concerned, I would guess, more about his battle with Disney, the state's biggest employer, which he says he's over because he's busy in Idaho state fairs, like kissing like, the biggest pig in Idaho or some, whatever they do at those state fairs.
It's a hard one, too. The biggest pig in Idaho. There's a lot of...
Talking about like, yeah, right. Talking about like, your property and protecting your property. I would imagine a big issue in Florida right now is like, insurance rates and fear of property loss as a result of like natural disasters and the real estate market tanking, which is a big part of Florida's economy. And all those things in concert with one another does not really paint DeSantis in this like great picture, especially since he's more concerned with winning the presidency. So, yeah, Florida's probably gerrymandered all to hell, but I don't imagine he's doing well there either, because people in Florida probably want him to be more focused on their problems. Right.
I mean, the Disney thing he wants to back out of, not just because he's trying to focus on the campaign trails, because he's about to brutally lose to the point where, Disney's going to give him a real show. Like, you don't...
And the dog catches the car.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like, there's a reason why in like the legal world they say like you don't mess with the mouse. I mean, they got all unlimited funds, and their legal team is brutal.
Oh yeah, no. What they say, Disney is a legal team with some like mouse logos. They're not really like, they're like a law firm with some like funny mouse logo icons. They're not like a business the same way when you harass like Target online.
Right. Yeah. And yeah,
they're gonna have them wearing mouse ears on the campaign trail as part of like a settlement.
Right. That would be that'd be great. Great point from you about the insurance thing, because I've been seeing this a lot online about people in Florida can't get their homes insured and things like that. And that's the free market at work, baby, right? I mean, this is why would a company decide to take on the extremely the extreme situations in Florida being run rampant by the non-existent, of course, climate change hoax that they say doesn't exist. Why would they, as a business, take on these expenses when it makes no sense? Extremely risky bet for them. But they, of course, are probably going to come up with something to step in and force these insurance companies down the line to do something. I'm sure. That's the free market, of course. That's the free market, baby.
Well, what'll make people believe in climate change real fast is if they need to in order to get like a government program. In that it'll fix their house that just got blown apart by a hurricane. Like that, I think you're right. I think we're going to see. I've been seeing a lot of that insurance frustration, and it's really going to get that clip of Ben Shapiro ready for the future, where he's like, do you think climate change is real? You're not just going to move, because that's going to be the difficulty of that is going to become urgent very soon if it's not already apparent now.